different setup. I feel like every single week I've been in a different spot in my apartment.
Looks good.
Been trying to, test different things out. I finally got a light though now, so I'm not going to be sitting in the darkness by the end of the episode like I have been.
Me and Puff are ready for this week's episode.
Oh, hey, Puff.
He ran away.
Well, hello. Welcome back to
What?
another Girls Who Get It podcast episode. I'm Sam.
I'm Julia.
And tonight we are in our pajamas, both freshly showered. We're doing face masks, although Julia already.
I got started. But while you're applying your face mask, I'll tell you why I was so excited to shower. I know you were at the gym, so you had a shower.
Yeah.
I went to tour a house because I'm thinking about buying, and my budget is how do you like humble.
Yeah. Modest.
Yes, exactly. Modest. That's what I was looking for. So there's a few options for me. Actually, over the weekend, I saw one that I really loved, and I put in an offer and didn't get it. So bummer. But today I went to look at one, and it was disgusting.
Oh
It
no.
walked in, and the outside was kind of deceiving. Like, it was kind of cute. I feel like it had potential, but it was just like you walked in and it was dark and it smelled like cat. And
Uh-oh.
I just like being in there for the 10 minutes we were in there, I felt so like yucky that I was like, I think I need a shower. Like, I can't sit like this through the episode. So,
I mean, you did tell me, I knew you were looking at a house, but when you were just saying, like, the reason I wanted to shower so badly, I thought you were going to say, like, you were with a man. Something
oh,
exciting.
no, nothing like that. It was traumatizing. And this house, so it's like older. I think it was like 1800s even, like
Oh my God.
1880, built in 18. Oh, I can't talk. Built in 1880, which I love, like character and older, like that's my thing, but I don't know what you would call that. It was horrible, and the ceilings were pretty low, but then there was this like tunnel to the bathroom where the ceilings were even lower. And I'm 5'6", like I'm not crazy tall. And even I felt like I had to duck. I was like, this is not my house.
That kind of sounds like the one apartment I had a few years ago. There was like this one, like, I just said like so many times. I apologize. A short hallway that just led to one of the extra rooms, and it had sort of a tunnel type thing.
It
Or it
was
just came down really low. Yeah, interesting.
so bad.
So more of a fixer upper,
Way more work than I could
not
ever.
move-in ready for a
Oh.
single woman that's not into construction.
And like the one before, I saw it on Friday, and that one was older. It was like built in 1900, but it was really cute and clean and like kept up with really well. This was not that at all. So
So are you looking at houses like in Albany, or are they kind of more like out in the outskirts?
definitely the outskirts. I'm looking for somewhere quiet. Which this wasn't in a bad location. It was like 20 minutes from work, which I liked. It was kind of out in it's like a neighborhood, but it was quiet. Not much going on. Just really not what I was looking for. My realtor, she's like really awesome. She was like, we can find you something better than this. This is
Mm.
bad.
Are the
Um,
houses there? Because I've never been to Albany, so I'm not familiar, but are the houses there more like all kind of on top of each other? Or do you actually have like a decent amount of yard?
It depends. Like Albany, like it can be pretty crowded, some of the houses, which I'd love to have a decent sized yard. I'm kind of looking the thing about like upstate, there's like 10 times more towns than I feel like there should be.
Mm,
I work in Rensselaer, it's called, but then like literally 2 minutes away is East Greenbush. Like you would think it would be the same area, but it's two different areas. It's called two different things. So that confuses me. But if you go, so Albany's on the west side of the river, I guess, the Hudson River. If you go across the river where I work, it's a little more spread out, a little more rural.
mm,
And it's like that too if you go past Albany, which I'm not looking to do because that would be like a long commute.
yeah.
And a lot of the more affordable houses are kind of more on top of each other, which I don't love. Honestly, I was looking at like trailers and stuff. I'm doing whatever I can to not move into an apartment when I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't have to rent anymore.
I'd love to have like an outdoor space and all the stuff. And once I didn't realize I could get pre-approved for like anything. So when I realized that, I thought, huh, it's possible. Um,
Yeah, I'm getting to that point in my life too where I'm like, damn, it would be nice to buy something. And I feel like a few of my friends down here are also in the process of shopping around for houses. So I'm just so inspired because I'm like, oh, okay, well, pretty soon I'm going to be like the only one that's still renting. So
what are the houses like down there? Like, is it affordable?
expensive.
Yeah, okay.
That's one of my biggest things. It's hard. It's a lot for just me by myself. And yeah, it would be nice to like own something and have more space and have a yard and da da da. But then I think about it and I'm like, as of now, while I'm still on my own, it is so nice. Like my apartment complex is fantastic. I have a great gym, I have a pool. The maintenance here is amazing. I can go online, put in a work order for anything that needs to be fixed or replaced. They come in within the hour, fix it. You know, like you can't beat that.
My God.
I
How
feel like
busy?
having a house, there's just so much responsibility. Even like having to mow your freaking lawn. Like,
I know. It's a lot.
yeah.
The house I saw on Friday, it had a really amazing yard, but it was gonna be like
Oh, she's making herself comfortable.
she has to be like near me. She's obsessed with me.
No.
That's Puff. I mean, if you're not watching, she just had to take her seat right on my shoulder. But yeah, I don't know, it's hard. Like the market's not great, which I know. And with my modest budget, it's tricky, but it's possible. So I'm gonna keep looking and cross my fingers.
Yeah. Well, good for you though that you're at a point where, you can do that. It's even a possibility. And good luck. I hope you find something cute.
I'll keep you posted.
Honestly, though, like I love looking at houses so much. So, I mean, at least I think anyway, it's like a fun process.
It is kind of fun, except like the fun houses to look at are like $400,000, and the houses that I am looking at are like less than two. So
Yeah.
a lot
Well,
of them are like falling down.
at least those even exist by you because that's,
Yeah. Well, that's upstate. Like it's not so bad. Even when I look, sometimes I look down like where I'm from in Allentown in Pennsylvania. I wouldn't stand it. It would not be
oh,
possible.
yeah, no, it's so bad. And honestly, like the South in general is obviously way more affordable than up north. It's just the town I'm in specifically it's booming. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of people are moving here and it's getting really expensive. But
Yeah. I was gonna say in Virginia where I lived, I could have afforded a lot,
yeah,
but
right.
oh well,
Well, keep us posted on that.
I sure will.
What face mask are you doing, by the way?
It's a detox face mask from Honest.
Wow, oh, well, okay, mine's technically a retexturizing mask, but kind of the same. It's
Oh,
with rose clay from Origins.
I like Origins masks. They're
I
really good.
do too. This one is like my favorite. Whenever my face starts to just feel a little like too oily and kind of like congested, I love
Hmm.
that one.
Nice.
It's really tight.
Yeah.
I feel like I can barely move my face right now.
Mine's feeling kind of tight. It's not that dry.
I want to give an update though, because I said I would talk about what went down when my ex was here.
Yes. Let's hear it.
So I don't even know.
Oh.
I don't even know what to say. I was like prepared. I was thinking about it over the last few days and I was like, okay, what am I going to talk about on the podcast? What am I going to say? And now it's all escaping me. But basically, he was here for like almost 2 weeks.
Huh.
We had a great time. Everything was good. We like bickered a little bit here and there, which I feel like is normal. But for the most part, it was like really good. And it really surprised me because I don't want to go into like too many specifics because I feel like that's not really fair to talk about somebody publicly but I don't know. I feel like my biggest issue was like we are 6 years apart. He's younger than me. So we were just in different places in life. And I feel like I was kind of like a little further ahead and I was wanting things that he just wasn't there yet in
Right.
order to be on that same level with me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There were like also just like some maturity things and I was kind of like we get along great, our personalities mesh really well, we have so much fun together, but I don't know if we can realistically work as like a real adult couple
Huh.
in the real world. That was my biggest thing. Like when we're just at home hanging out watching Love Island together, it's A plus. It's fantastic. No
Right.
issue. But once it comes to like doing real life, then it's like I just had like hesitation, I guess, and I didn't really know if we wanted the same things because both of us were kind of back and forth and he just wasn't at a place at the time like when we broke up where he even could say for sure, because he was like still in school, still trying to figure things out. And I don't know, but when he was here, it was like it just felt so different. Like he was amazing. Like he cooked dinner pretty much every night and was doing the dishes and was like helping me clean up. And like I am a grandma and I pass out by like 10 p.m. at the latest every
Hmm.
night. And he would stay up a little bit later. And like as I was asleep, he'd be like out here folding laundry and like,
Oh.
yeah. And he was helping out a lot with Benny. And I don't know, like a lot of the things that I like had issue with, I saw like real change. And I was like, oh, okay, this is promising. Um, yeah, I don't know. And the other issue was like, I didn't know if we both wanted to live in the same place. Cause now that I've been down here, I love it down here. I have no intention of ever moving back up to Pennsylvania.
Good to know.
And he was kind of like on the fence about that. And he had been down here to visit me once when I first moved here, but it was like a short trip and my brother was here too and I had just moved in and like I didn't really know the area either and it just like I don't know. So him being here now, he got to really explore my town more and he said he really likes it here and could see himself living here. So I'm like, oh,
Huh.
like that kind of shocked me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I keep going back and forth. It's literally like 1 hour I'll be feeling like, I don't know, it doesn't feel right, maybe we shouldn't. And then the next I'm like, no, I can see our future together, and it's
What does he say?
I think he wants to, like, he sees a future together, but I think he also has the same like hesitation in some aspects too, because like he is very certain that he wants kids, and that's always something that I've been very much on the fence about.
Yeah.
And we talked about like he would move here, but neither of us know where we want to live long term. And I don't know. So there's still some question marks,
Right.
but I don't know. I just feel like the connection that we have is good. And even though like we've been through some shit, I don't know, it's hard because like I get so conflicted and I listen so much to like outside stuff and like what we were talking about last week, like just the generic advice that you always hear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you know when you know.
Yeah.
When it's right, you'll just know. Like, is that always true though? Is
I
that
don't.
true for everyone? Like, because there are some moments where I really feel that way and I'm like, oh yes, this is my soulmate, this is so right. And then there's other times where I hesitate, but I also feel like that's just my personality. Like, I am the most indecisive person about everything. There's
Yeah.
never been anything in my life where I'm like 100% sold, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that I always am going to be kind of like nitpicky, and I realize some of the things that I was kind of like convincing myself, like, oh no, he's not my person, was like really dumb little shit. And I'm
Like,
like, I don't know. Just, I'm trying to think. Really, really stupid stuff. I'm trying to think of an example. Um, I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but just really, really nitpicky
mhm.
things. And even like I'm more outgoing than he is. So like when we're out socially, like he's not as much of like a social butterfly as I can be. And
Mhm.
sometimes I'm like, well, I want to be with somebody that is more outgoing. But like, is that what's important in a partner? Or is it important to have somebody that like actually really treats you right and cares about you and is loyal and trustworthy and communicative and honest and like all of, you know?
Yeah.
And I think about like the big things and the things about him that I love. And I'm like, I don't know how easy it will be to find all of these things in another person, and also them like have the same sense of humor as me and enjoy the same things that I do. And
Right.
there's a lot more to it. And I feel like no matter who I'm with, there's always going to be little nitpicky things. Like no two people are ever going to 100% click in every single aspect of life. And sometimes it's like the balance.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then I was thinking too about how, and I've had this article on my phone saved for a few years now, but
Oh.
it's about your third love. I should probably take my
Oh,
mask off now too.
mine's
You
feeling.
know, I know mine's feeling like very tight. Um, but yeah, they say that your first love, you're like in your puppy love phase, blah, blah, blah. And then your second love is a little more complicated and you go back and forth a lot and maybe like break up and then get back together, which really describes what our relationship was like.
Yeah.
And then your third love, it's supposed to be so easy and wonderful and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. Supposedly, everyone is supposed to have like three major loves in their life. But obviously, Like, I don't, and that's the kind of bullshit that I get so hung up on, and I get so in my head about that. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
obviously he's my second love. So that means there's a third one out there, which is stupid because that's not necessarily true. Like, not everyone has three loves. And
Yeah.
maybe your second love, after you break up and take some time apart, maybe they can become your third love,
That's a great point.
you know?
I just don't think everything is like so black and white that like a lot like it's not the same for everybody. People come back together, people change, or maybe you have one love. Like
Right.
think of my grandparents and I'm pretty sure I mean they met when they were very young. I don't know for certain if they were each other's first love, but like they met when they were very young and they were like the best of friends and just like so in love. And I don't think they went through three love. I don't think they were each other's third love, you know?
Right. And
Um,
I feel like that's my biggest problem is I always get so caught up in the what if. Is
yeah,
this the right choice? But what if like I wish that I could look in a crystal ball and I could see what my future will look like in every different scenario before I
right.
make a decision. But the other thing is like we've been broken up now for almost 2 years and I'm still not sure and I'm still, you know what I mean, like hung up on the same person.
Yeah,
So like if I really truly felt in my gut that it wasn't right, we wouldn't be here right now.
right. And
So
it's
that's the
like
other thing.
I think a lot of people struggle with, well, is there someone better? Which is part of the problem, I think, especially with like,
Yeah.
social media and dating apps and stuff. Like, sure, people seem better, or like, yeah, I mean, you don't know people based off of how they look and all that, but I think as you meet people, you understand like connections don't, at least for me, I don't know how people have so many relationships. Connections that like true connection with someone is so rare for me. And I
Same.
try. Like, don't think I'm out here not trying, but I feel like I think I brought this up last week or the week before. Like, I feel like I can tell pretty quickly whether or not someone is like, I don't know, a good fit for me. Um, and it's rare.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same thing with friendships too, I feel like. When you
Oh,
meet
definitely.
someone and you just know like, oh, we hit it off. We have a lot in common. Like we're gonna be
Yeah.
friends.
Oh, yeah. Especially like as an adult, like that is talk about rare. Uh,
Yeah, definitely.
like you and me. Oh my gosh. Uh, I didn't realize at the time. Oh, that's gonna be my lifelong friend Sam. Like we're gonna have a podcast together. Like,
By the way, I'm loving the piece of hair that's sticking up in the middle of your head.
oh my god, that's my bang.
Perfect circle.
That's my halo.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Uh
I think relationships are tricky no matter what. Nothing's perfect. And if it is, great. That's perfect for you. I'm happy
yeah.
if all your relationships are perfect, but if you think about your relationship with your parents or your siblings, different, of course, than like romantic relationships, but there's struggles in every single, nothing's perfect.
Right. And I feel like at the end of the day, it comes down to like, who do you feel comfortable with? Who do you want to spend time with? And
Right.
that's the thing too. Like I've just been thinking about what's my natural, like, what do I naturally do? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to speak to him
Yeah.
and see him and spend time with him. And I feel like when I do try to put myself out there, and I mean, I haven't gone on any dates recently, but anytime I've gone on a date in the past, like within the past 2 years, Or even
Yeah.
if I'm just like out having a conversation with a man, it just, I just am so turned off by everyone. And all it does is make me realize, like, wow, my ex-boyfriend is so much better than these people.
Right.
So I don't know. But the thing is he still has a year left of school.
Oh.
So either way, I'm going to be here. He's going to be up in Pennsylvania.
Right.
So I'm just, I don't know. I'm not making any like permanent decisions at the moment. And I think we're just going to kind of play it by ear and go with the flow. And then when it gets closer, he should be done by like April ish.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. So once that time gets closer, and my lease in my apartment is going to be up in March. So I feel like once the new year begins, we'll probably talk about it a little bit more seriously and see where we stand at that point.
Right.
But I will say having him here, even though he was great, and I mean, I didn't feel like annoyed or wanted him to leave or anything, but it really made me appreciate living by myself and having my own space.
Isn't it so nice?
It is. And I'm sure if we were in like a bigger space, like in a house where we could have like our own areas,
Yeah.
it would be fine. But just being in such a small space with another person, I was like, wow, I really, and I don't know, I've realized too that I'm very particular, which I know is something I need to break that
Mhm.
habit if I ever want to live with another person again. But I'm so particular about how I keep things and like where everything goes. Like even my spice rack, I'm like, if they're not in the correct order, I lose my mind. It's not okay. I don't know what happened to me. I'm becoming a monster.
Particular. It's okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I love my space. So I don't know what the future holds. So I'm just gonna enjoy my life, enjoy living alone while I can,
Yeah. Here's some,
and we'll see.
this is something I think about like every day because I want like a partner and I want a house and I want babies and whatever. But like one day I'll like look back and be like, oh, I could do whatever I wanted. I had my own apartment. I decorated however I wanted and things stayed like nice. Although, uh, if you're me, your laundry's everywhere and whatever. But like to just enjoy where I'm at instead of want to be somewhere else so badly that I can't acknowledge that I have it pretty good. I can go to Target whenever I want and have wine. Like I can do whatever I want. And
Yeah,
this
you can have whatever you want for dinner. You can buy as many scented candles and shit as you want in whatever sense, and you don't have to hear anybody bitch about not liking it. You can play whatever music you want while you're doing laundry. You can watch whatever shows you want. Like it's nice. And I feel like I spent most of my life, certainly my whole adulthood, looking forward to the future and wanting to like rush through the phase I was in, looking forward to the next chapter. And I don't want to live that way anymore. And I want to just be in the moment and enjoy where I'm at now. Cause it's true. Like you don't know where you'll be in a few years. And once you have kids, especially, that's it. Your life has changed forever. There's no going back to this.
yeah. I think of my sister. I don't think she'll mind if I share. But her life changed so much in like a year. Like
Especially having twins.
I feel like in one year she went to like buying her own home. It was hers and then twins and a husband and like you just never know.
Yeah.
So I keep that in mind all the time. Like, yeah, I want certain things, but I have it pretty good now, and I can enjoy myself now with what I have. So,
Yeah, and you'll get those things that you want eventually, you know? So it's like, why rush it?
right. Exactly.
Because I already know I get comments like that on my YouTube vlogs from women that are like, "Oh my God, I'm married and I have a bunch of kids. Like, enjoy it. I wish I like had my own space and alone time."
Yeah.
So,
Should we get into what this episode is really about?
yeah.
Like halfway through. Last week we asked everybody on Instagram how you guys met your significant other. For like some meet cute stories. So
Mm-hmm.
longer DMs, and we have some just like responses from the story. And I'm so excited. I haven't read through any of them because I wanted to be like first reaction.
Same, same. And honestly, we got so many that I am overwhelmed.
So many. It might have to be like two parts, honestly.
I think so because I was shocked. And it's so funny because somebody had responded like, "Girl, we're single." Because we po- we posted, "Tell us how you met your partner so we can share the story in an episode. How and where did you meet? And where is it?" Somebody was like, "Girl, why do you think we're here? We're single." But so I was, and that was one of the first responses we got. And I was like, "Oh no, maybe we're not going to get a lot of responses." But
So many, and I was so excited.
I'll read some of the stories really fast because they're just like short little responses. If you want to pull up the messages.
Sure.
Okay, so somebody said a "to be honest" post on Instagram, then he slid in my DMs.
Nice.
Um, we both failed the same class in different high schools and had to go to adult ed to graduate. Met in 2010 and got married in 2020.
Hmm.
On an online game. Someone else said Bumble. First date was sushi and Bohemian Rhapsody.
Huh.
Okay. College, we went to the same wrong class together, then ended up in the right one. Oh, that's cute. It's like fate. Somebody else said Tinder. So there's hope.
Okay, cool.
Through my cousin, and we dated for 5 and have been married for 5. Someone else said Hinge. We worked at a gym. I saw him and swear the world stopped. Been together 4 years now. Oh, that's cute. Let's see. My boyfriend and I met working at a Target Starbucks. I was a barista and he worked in the Target cafe. We were friends for a while. We've been dating for a year and a half now.
Nice.
Front door to my childhood home when I was 16, now married almost 20 years.
Wow.
Damn. At a friend's graduation party, he was there with his coworker who was her brother-in-law. She said BIL, and I had to take a
Yeah.
second to think about what that meant. We met working at Six Flags. We've been together since 20. Sorry, no, been together since 2007. Married for 10 years now. Somebody else said Instagram. Someone else said Facebook dating. Matched on Tinder in August, then rematched in October and got married 2 years after that.
Wow.
Someone else said we met through my cousin at a bar. I spilled my drink on him. My mom made me go to a quinceanera when I was 17. I met my now husband 14 years later. We met at the gym, and at first he gave me the ick. Then one day he was suddenly really hot.
Ow! How does that
Isn't
happen?
it interesting how like some people are like, "Oh my God," as soon as I saw him, like I was just instantly attracted and I knew. And then other people it like takes a while. Like it could be the opposite.
Yeah. I don't know if I could get past
Um
getting the ick though.
I know the ick is yeah, I agree. Tinder, 6 years and a 4-year-old daughter later, I can say he was the best date.
Wow.
So yeah, those are all the shorter responses. Quite a few dating apps.
Yeah, that's
So there's hope. They can work.
Here is a message. My husband and I met while we were both working on Main Street in Disneyland. We had talked here and there, but I had recently gotten out of a toxic relationship where I was the toxic one, she said. Wow.
Ooh, okay. I love the self-awareness.
Yeah, me too. And had decided to take a break from dating, so didn't really think anything of it. A few weeks after meeting, he came up to me as I was starting my shift and said, "Hey, I left you some food in the break room fridge." I was like, "Oh, thanks. I'm a vegetarian. Is there any meat in the food?" He said, "Actually, I don't eat meat either." We had not talked at all about our food preferences, so that was a really weird coincidence. I was a little skeptical of the whole situation, to be honest, but when I checked the fridge, he really did leave me some food and with his number written down on the bag. It was too
Aw.
cute to text him. Even as we started talking, we worked different shifts and lived pretty far apart. But him making such an effort to prioritize me is a big reason why we are still together 8 years later. That's great.
Yeah, that's cute.
Learn to prioritize. Very cute. Um, this one says my boyfriend was in a band and we met at the music venue where his band was playing. And it was the first night I was working there. Fate. This one says I was single for almost 2 years, feeling like I would never meet anyone that wasn't trash. Dating apps weren't working for me. I feel you.
Relatable, yeah.
Also, I was working at Ulta and going to beauty school, so I wasn't gonna find a straight guy at the two places I spent all of my time. I met my current boyfriend of almost 2 years through a girl in my cosmetology class. They are childhood friends, and we met organically through a barbecue she had at her house. So crazy how it does happen when you least expect it.
Not
Some
something you love to hear.
Sometimes it can happen that way, huh?
But yeah, exactly. I think that's a great story though, because it's very true. My friend Carrie, actually, who is married, we were talking the other night about dating and everything, and she was like, I feel like single women need to really like put themselves out there and not even so much like looking for men and like looking to go on dates, but like just even interact with other women because you never know who somebody might know. They could have a brother or a friend, a cousin, whatever, like, or one of their friends could have a brother. Like, you really never know how you'll end up meeting somebody. So,
Yeah, very true. So this next one is I went on a solo birthday vacation slash road trip. Love that. On the way back, I stopped in a town and swiped on Tinder while I waited in line at Starbucks. I kept ignoring him and telling him I didn't want to go on a date. He finally convinced me, drove 2.5 hours to see me, and now we live together. Going on 3 years this month.
oh,
Wow.
I love the persistence.
Yeah, seriously. We had mutual friends throughout high school. He was 2 grades older than me, but we never really spoke to each other. I knew who he was, and he knew who I was, but for some reason we never spoke to each other. We both were in relationships at the time, so maybe that's why we didn't talk. But we did have each other on Instagram. Fast forward to my senior year, I had broken up with my boyfriend, and he had also broken up with his girlfriend. I posted a picture of myself on graduation day, and he messaged me and congratulated me, and we just started talking since, and eventually we went on a date. We got along, everything went so well, it didn't feel forced. We vibed so well. So we kept seeing each other. A few months in, we had hooked up, and I knew once that happened, I was going to catch more feelings. And I knew he felt the same, but we never really talked about dating. I think we both just didn't want to ruin what we had. I think there's more, but I can't find it.
It's interesting because I feel like there's a lot of people that I went to high school with that I've seen on social media are now together, but they never really like were in the same friend groups or anything. in high school, like I don't think they really ever spoke. And it's just interesting how people can reconnect later in life.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, meanwhile, you knew each other all that time.
Crazy. I met my now husband on Tinder. I wish it were a more romantic story, but I had just come out of a 5-year long-term relationship and had no idea how to date or where to meet men, let alone the unicorn of a man who wanted the exact same things as me. But lo and behold, I found myself that unicorn. We've been married for 6 years, or sorry, we've been together for 6 years, married for 3, and have a beautiful 2-year-old daughter together.
Aw,
All we need is that white picket fence, but in this economy, that'll probably take a while.
I love that.
That's funny.
Aw, that's cute. It's really, I just like I know I hear the stories of people meeting on dating apps. Like I know it's possible and it happens, but I just cannot fathom that actually happening.
No, I've met some like really actually decent guys on dating apps. They just like weren't a fit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like if you happen to find someone that I don't know. Like they're not all trash. Like sometimes I'm doing some research for a future episode and I'm on a bunch of different apps, trying a bunch of different ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on one and I found myself thinking, what the hell? Like, is this selection? No offense, but like it was it was rough. And then I think, why am I on this? And you know, makes you wonder. But I think they're finding diamonds in the rough because
That's true. And I'm sure it also depends like where you live. It's just weird to me because I feel like, especially the most recent time when I tried to give the apps another chance,
yeah,
nothing even made it to the point of like meeting in person to even have a date, to even know, or like even having conversation
yeah.
enough to know, like, is it a fit or not?
It's a
Like,
lot of talk, which I hate. I if we're talking more than a few days and they're not like, "Hey, want to do something?" I've lost interest. I
yeah, yeah, same.
like what is the point of all this?
But even still, I felt like I was on there for a while and I was like actively swiping and all of that. And like I had matched with people, but then only a few of them would actually even respond. Like some of them would just not reach out, or if I'd reach out, no response.
I know.
I'm like, but you matched with me. So like I don't understand.
I know. That's why I hate Bumble, but we'll get into that in another episode.
Yeah.
Moving on. Um, my partner and oh my gosh, I can't talk. My partner and I met in cosmetology school. He was already enrolled before me, so when I went to tour the school slash class, I walked in on his class in session and was getting ready to go on break. As soon as I saw him, I texted my best friend and said, I just saw the sexiest man ever, and I want him. Love it. He had enrolled for barbering, but they had made everyone do everything. So one day our instructor was pairing people up to do manicures on each other, and she looked at me and she pointed to my partner to be, and we immediately smiled at each other, and I definitely got butterflies. Then he's trying to take the nail polish off my nails and struggling, but we were kind of having casual convo during this and he ended up looking up at me and said, "Don't fall in love now." And here we are 10 years later, married with a baby. Aw,
That's
that's
really cute.
that's different.
I love that story because it's like it really was meant to be. The fact that she saw him immediately was attracted to him and then
Yeah.
got partnered up and then he was feeling it too. Like that's almost like something out of a movie.
Yeah, honestly.
I really love that story.
So cute.
And I'm curious if they both are still in the industry.
I know. I wonder.
Are they
Well,
both doing hair still?
this is a long one. Let's see. We were teenagers at the time, and there was this website that doesn't even exist anymore back in 2008 that people mainly used for meeting friends, or you could use it like a dating website. I had seen a photo of my now partner and we matched. I hadn't messaged him or anything yet. Later on, I was hanging out with my best friend at the time and was on the website with her. She was matching with people and she ended up matching with my partner. I recognized the picture and said, I matched with him earlier. Sounds like Tinder. So she messaged him. Fast forward a couple weeks, and they had been messaging and decided to meet in real life. My friend invited me over to hang out in case he wasn't who he claimed to be. I thought he was really good looking. He had long hair and was almost emo/goth at the time. They started long distance dating, but it just ended up not working out. But I had kept him on MSN.
MSN was like
AIM?
it was kind of like AOL Instant Messenger, but it was different.
I'm too young to understand these. I'm just kidding. We chatted more and more often and started flirting a little bit. Then we started phone call conversations until finally he asked me out on a date to see a movie. We've been together ever since, and it's been almost 15 years now. Kind of weird story because it was like online dating before smartphones, and I was the friend to be there in case he turned out to be a weirdo. Pretty glad he wasn't. We live together now in an apartment with our dog, and we are very happy together and still very much in love. Love your podcast. I look forward to them every week. Thanks,
Oh, thanks.
Brittany. Next up, we've got this one says that she met her partner in an online college class. We had to make a discussion post and respond to 3 people for a grade. I remember doing that. I hated it so much. Because it was just like, great post, Allison. What did you think? Like, come on.
Yeah, just stupid shit that, yeah.
To get the point, yeah, just to get points. Anyway, I responded to his post because it was one of the first I saw. I didn't really read it well, was rushing to get it done. Yeah, I feel that. Well, he ended up finding me on Instagram and followed me. I followed back and thought it was odd that this random guy in my online class found me, but went with it. A few weeks later, I slid up on one of his story posts just to make a comment on his car, and we've been together for 4 years now. Huh.
Aww.
I later found out he had a crush on me and was too scared to DM me because he didn't know if I was single. I had to make the first move, which wasn't really my intention. He had a nice car, and I'm a car girl. Nice.
Wow. That's funny though. I wonder if he had a crush on her before she did her little, comment
Yeah.
for the
Probably.
class.
Oh, I don't know. Because sometimes they made you like put up a picture of yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
because
and other times they didn't.
yeah, because it's not like if it's an online class, you're
Unless maybe they had like a Zoom. I never took any classes like that were Zoom.
Yeah, me neither. I took a couple online classes, but there were no interactions. Like I didn't know what anybody looked like. That's interesting though. And I mean, also kind of like fate.
Yeah, a little bit. I like this one. We met in middle school. We thought each other was ugly/weird. That's middle school for you. Reconnected after high school as friends in our partying stage and eventually developed feelings. 5 years later, and now we have 2 kids.
Aww.
So, yeah, you could start out thinking the person's ugly and weird, I guess.
I know. It's so funny how your perspective can change so much.
Yeah. This one is I met my husband in high school. We both played golf and competed against each other in a thing at our local course to get unlimited use of the practice range for a year. I won, of course. He started working at the golf course and we would see each other all the time for the next 2 years but never spoke. Finally, I was practicing one day and he came by and asked if I dropped an earring, which I had. He said we should play golf sometime and we made a plan to play the next day. Long story short, I got stuck at a school thing and we hadn't exchanged numbers, so he thought I stood him up. He was working at the course later that day, and I went up and told him what happened. He goes, I better get your number in case this happens again. And the rest is history. We are now 33, been married 6 years, and have a 2-year-old daughter.
Nice.
Super cute. That kind of reminds me like how people say you can't say the wrong thing to the right person or like ruin it if it's the right person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's so true.
stood up. I'd be like, what the fuck? But it worked out. I bought the house I'm in now, and during the buying process, there were major repairs done to my crawl space. My home inspector had to have the company who did the work come back multiple times. After I moved in, I called a different company 6 months later to have a dehumidifier installed. I called a different company, and when that guy did his inspection, he said the original company missed a ton of work and that should be done before the dehumidifier. I called back the first company and bitched them out and made them come back and do all the work they didn't do and put in the dehumidifier. 3 guys showed up. I was intrigued by one of them because he was just so nice and had such a gentle spirit and was very nice despite me being a total bitch. He was here for 5 days, and on the 5th day before he left, I asked if he wanted to hang out sometime. He did. Now he lives here and we're recently engaged.
Nice.
How cute.
Good for her for shooting her shot.
Yeah, honestly. Makes me think I should like do that more because what do you have to lose?
No, literally, like absolutely nothing. And I think about if someone were to ask me, like, oh, hey, do you want to like hang out sometime or get together? If I wasn't really interested and I said no, I wouldn't think like, oh my God, what a fucking weirdo. Ew. Oh my God, how embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean,
So who cares? Like, even if they say no,
what would you say though? How would you let someone down easy? No, thanks.
yeah, I don't know.
Um, I don't think so.
No, thank you. Um,
Just back away slowly.
yeah, I would just run immediately, just take off, just get the hell out of there. No, I don't know. I would probably, I don't know. It depends on my mood. I either would lie and be like, oh, sorry, I'm seeing someone,
Okay, fair.
or I don't know, just be like, oh, I'm not really
Inch.
looking to date. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I wouldn't be like, you're a weirdo and butt ugly, so no thanks.
No, I don't think so. Okay, interesting. Dating app Plenty of Fish. He wasn't my normal type at all, but it was getting close to the weekend, so I figured why not? Better than sitting at home. We dated for a year before we decided we are better off as friends. We just
Oh.
celebrated our 9-year friend anniversary last week. He's my best friend and don't know what I'd do without him.
Well, I did say in the story, like, even if you're not together anymore,
Okay, true.
like, how'd you meet though?
That's cool. They're still friends.
Interesting. I would be so curious to know more about that. Like, how I feel like it can be so complicated and tricky to go from in a relationship to just being friends.
I agree. I feel like someone tends to have feelings still, you know?
Yeah, because like, how can you just all of a sudden not have feelings anymore?
Yeah.
And being friends means that, like, presumably you still are seeing each other and you kind of have an idea of what's going on in their life. So, like, if either they're dating other people or sleeping around with other people, like, how does that not
Bother you?
make you feel some type of way? Even if you know that you're not really like right for each other or whatever. I don't know. Interesting.
It is interesting.
Do you watch Vanderpump Rules?
No, but I wanted to after all this drama I saw.
You should. I only got into it recently because of all the drama, but there's a couple on there that had been together for like 12 years or something and married for several years, and they got a divorce. and they are trying to maintain a friendship. And there's all this drama because she told him, like, okay, we can still be friends, we can still co-parent our dogs,
Oh.
but my boundary is don't get with anybody in our friend group. Like, I love watching that too, and like their dynamic, because it obviously doesn't seem to be working that well.
Oh.
Because like
That
it's still heated, like they're constantly having conversations, and then he was kind of like hooking up, or was potentially going to hook up with one of the girls from the friend group,
mm-hmm.
who then it turns out that was all just like a facade, because she was actually sleeping with the other guy, like the big scandal.
Oh. Oh. Mm-hmm.
It's a whole thing. You definitely should watch it.
What do you watch it on? I tried to watch it on the app.
I think it's on Peacock.
Oh, cool. I'll watch.
Yeah.
Something I could do this weekend, just binge
Oh
that.
my God, it's so good. I feel like you don't even, I haven't watched all of the seasons,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely watch like the most recent one.
Okay.
And then like the reunions and stuff after, it's just so good. Oh, I love it.
The drama is good. Even the TikToks I was seeing, I was like, ooh, I'm invested.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Okay, next. I was hired at the restaurant my now boyfriend worked at. Apparently, when I walked through the doors for my interview, he said, "Who is that?" to the manager in like a she's hot kind of way, and told the manager that he had to be the one to train me if I was hired. He ended up training me on my second day, and I remember thinking he was kind of a jerk, which was definitely because he was trying to seem cool. But we ended up grabbing dinner after a shift one night, a couple of weeks later, and long story short, we've been together 4 years and lived together. Very cute. My ex and I met from an old girlfriend of mine. It was first on FaceTime when he told her I was cute. Months later, I flew to Fort Stewart to attend a military ball with my girlfriend. Met, I think she means like a friend, like how you say
Mm-hmm.
in a friend way. Met him and literally fell head over heels. I remember I was in shock of how cute he was, like a gentle giant. First date was sushi. We did everything super traditional. I was celibate at the time. Good for you. So just cuddling was our extent. I ended up kissing him before walking down to the military banquet. He was AD Army. What's that?
You're asking the wrong person.
Someone tell us what that is. And I am AFNG. More military talk that I don't know. I flew down to Georgia. He flew up to PA. We had promise rings. He met my family. I met his. Unfortunately, he cheated on me 2 weeks before I was going to be staying 2 months with him. Damn.
No.
Texted me he got drunk and slept with someone else. My text to him was canceled my tickets. He already knew my thoughts on infidelity. Never heard from him again. Oh,
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
that
I was
sucks.
like, oh, this is so cute. Oh my God.
Oh, I didn't think it was gonna end that way.
And he had to ruin it
I'm
from
sorry.
just one stupid drunken night.
Yep. So whack.
But when people cheat, like, I have been blackout drunk before on a few occasions. I'm not doing things that I wouldn't do sober.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna probably be like more outgoing and silly and whatever, but like I'm not gonna do things that like go completely against my morals like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like being drunk isn't an excuse, and if he was, if he cheated, he was always capable of doing that,
Yeah. And
drunk or
just
not.
he was just like never contacted her again.
Yeah, like you're not even gonna attempt to fight
Did he
for
ever
her.
guys?
Yeah, right. What the hell?
That's no man. That's a boy. Um,
Yeah.
okay. 10 years ago, he messaged me in a group chat with another girl on Instagram, then sent me a personal message on the side, not realizing he messaged me with another girl. It
Hmm.
was Christmas Day and he was drunk, and I was in my hoe phase at the time. I didn't care, and he was tattooed and hot and chubby. I'm a chubby chaser, by the way. I like them thick. I just wanted to throw that ass in a circle. I never wanted to be in I think maybe she meant relationship. However, we ended up meeting up after talking over a month. We were also going to the same college. I had no clue until we met. We went on a pizza date for our first date. I was 20 at the time, and we talked all this shit about getting drunk. He brought a bottle of Amsterdam in his book bag so we could secretly drink at the pizza spot. She said, "Girl, tell me how we clicked so well. Conversation was amazing. We forgot that damn Amsterdam bottle. We never even drank." Oh my gosh.
Well,
Um, we've been together since 2014. He's the love of my life, and we have an amazing 3-year-old. By the way, I'm a Virgo, and he is my very spicy Scorpio. I love that you
mm,
threw that in.
wow.
That's cute.
That's that's so cute. I just wanted to throw that ass in a circle. That's incredible. I
Wow.
love you. I love you. That's hilarious.
I love that one. Here's a good one. We aren't together anymore, but he turned out to be like fatal attraction. Funny, not funny, but he was
Uh-oh.
in DMs for 4 years. It eventually went quiet for a little while, and when COVID lockdown hit, I spent it in Florida at a beach house. Wow, I'm jealous.
Same.
Uh, I spent it in my grandpa's basement, but it's fine. Uh, well, he slid into my DMs after getting out of jail. Well, he was in jail. That's why he stopped. Uh, we
Yeah.
we just clicked and we hit it off over FaceTime. That lasted a week until he decided to drive 16 hours down to me. Love at first sight. 3 years later, we have one child together. That was the only good thing that came out of our relationship. He turned out to be this nasty, egotistical, psycho ass con artist.
Mm.
That's unfortunate.
I did
Um,
get some stories. I was out to dinner this past weekend with two couples. My
ooh,
my four friends. I was the fifth wheel. Uh,
love
but the one couple, they met through friends.
it. Mm-hmm.
She started working at, we worked together actually at the same salon, but she started working there like years and years ago. And at the time, there was another girl that worked there, and the coworker was dating this guy, and his best friend was like, the future husband.
Oh,
So they were mutual friends, and I guess the coworker had invited her out to some kind of like get together. That's when she met her future husband. And then she said they had met like a couple times in group settings before they really like felt the spark.
yeah.
And yeah, they've been together for several years now,
Um,
happily married. They have the cutest house. And then my other friends, they met through work.
oh, nice.
Um, yeah, she was already working there in kind of like a higher up position, and then he came in and was interviewing,
Huh.
and her coworker was like, "Oh my God, this guy is so cute. I'm gonna give him the job." And then they met, and he said that he was like so attracted to her, but he had a girlfriend at the time that he was kind of like things weren't really working out. He was kind of in the process of like, ending things. And he said that there was like some work program that they had to use, and he like kept playing dumb, and he kept like requesting meetings for her so she could like help him with the program, even though it wasn't that complicated. And then they kind of became friends and started hanging out in like group settings. And she said that she thought that he was so amazing and so sweet and the best guy. And she was like, I need to hook him up with one of my girlfriends. Like, she didn't think of him for herself at first. Yeah. And but he was really into her, and then he asked her out, and they went on a date, and then I guess the date went really well, and she was like, oh wait, I actually really like him for me.
Wow.
And yeah.
So you don't always know right away.
Exactly.
Well, that was fun.
I know. I love that. Thanks everybody for sending in your stories.
If you still want to send us some, we'd love to hear.
Yeah, definitely. And we can definitely share more in another episode. Do a part 2.
Sure.
And we should look up, I'm sure there's a lot on Reddit too. I'd be curious
for sure
to read stories on there. Our nails are matching again?
Almost.
That's hilarious. We both have the neon red before.
Mine look like super.
They're like neutral.
Nice.
Wow, I love it. Same wavelength as always. Okay, well, that is going to be it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will be back next Friday with a new episode.
TTYL.